we have such pods to cast you. On this week's episode of Horror Hole, I'm Wyatt, and who is here with me today, as always?
And I'm the pup play Cenobite, Cody Briscoe.
And we are here to talk about Hellraiser, and also Hellraiser 2, because we decided to do both of them at the same time, baby. Because we figured we might as well not wait to do 2, because all the rest of the movies are so fucking bad that we just we didn't want to like make it an expectation that we're gonna do the whole series.
Yeah.
So we're just doing 1 and 2.
That.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe with Exorcist or something we'll do that. we'll do 1 and then 2 and then 3, or we'll skip over 2 and then just do 1 and 3 and then go back to 2 because it's bad.
I would want to do 1, 2, and 3. We gotta watch 2.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
Like this series in particular is like the great franchise that could have been but never was. We'll get into that later. But like immediately after 2, like the only one I would maybe have interest in watching would be, I think it's either 5 or 6. It's the only one where Kirsty comes back as like a main character. But that still wasn't written as a Hellraiser movie. None of the sequels past, I think 4, were written as Hellraiser movies.
Right.
But yeah,
I'm very interested in that. Almost makes me want to watch them, because now I'm like, how do they are like, all right, let's just slip the Cenobites in here. Like, how do they do that? I guess I'm curious to at least like read about it afterwards.
There's one about a video game with Henry Cavill getting his dick sucked by a ghost.
That's cool. But yeah, so I also read Hellbound Heart, which is the book that Clive Barker took, and it basically is the first draft of the movie. So I'll talk about it a little bit here just up front, because there is some differences, some pretty notable ones, but it is mostly the same. So the big changes to it are that Kirsty as a character is completely different. She's like still serves the same role in the story, but she's just some random lady that's friends with the couple. Like she's not the daughter of like the husband, and has an evil stepmom. She's just like some random lady who just thinks that Julia is cheating on her husband and investigates, and then accidentally gets roped into the whole thing. And then basically like the book just ends pretty much when the Cenobites take Frank away to hell, and then like it's just kind of has like a little thing afterward where she's like looking at the box, and she's like, I can see the souls of Frank and Julia screaming, and I know that the husband, who I believe is named Rory in the I can't remember his fucking name, in Larry, that's it. Larry. In Hellraiser, I was looking through wiki page here because 2 different names for whatever reason, but that's fine. It just says like, I know he's in heaven, and then it kind of just ends there, which is fine, because
doesn't end with a dragon.
It's a novella. No, there's no hell dragon that shows up, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. That is pretty cool. But I was just like kind of laughing, because I'm like, yeah, that's a novella, so it can kind of end on a muted note. But this is like a horror movie, like a big movie. So even if it wasn't like a Hollywood movie, they still probably wanted to end it on like a big, exciting moment.
It's I mean, yeah, it's a British movie, I'm pretty sure, because Julia is British, and I don't know if you noticed this when you were watching it, but Frank is very terribly overdubbed with a guy doing an American accent.
Yeah, I could. Basically, is that true for when he's like alive as well? Because because I kind of noticed it there, but it's like really noticeable when he's like as a flesh monster. It just clearly sounds like a guy.
Well, that's a different actor. That's not even like Frank as
the same
human form.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But no, like,
I know that there's like two different actors for those 2 situations. Yeah. So yeah.
When Frank goes to see Julia in the rain, he's like, "Hi there, can I come inside? It's really wet out here." Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
there was some, I don't know
That
the actor's name,
brother Frank.
but there was some like interview where he talked about like his like horrified reaction going to see the movie because they didn't tell him that they dubbed him over because he has a British accent. And
Right.
they wanted the movie to play well in America, and they didn't tell him that, so he was like completely
Hmm.
blindsided when he went to go see the movie.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, the book takes place in London, so like that's why, like, because Clive Barker is English,
Yeah.
so um, that just makes perfect sense. So it was like kind of interesting that I
Hmm.
was listening to it and I heard like Larry talking. I was like, that doesn't sound like a British accent. But then I heard Julia, and it's like, okay, she's British.
Hmm.
Uh, and then yeah, so that's the main difference is just like Kirsty's role. Like she has like the same function in the story. Like the story is basically like plays out the same way as far as like she runs away. She has the box. She opens it while in the hospital, and then the Cenobites are like, all right, prove that Frank is still alive or we'll fucking kill you. And
Hmm.
then, so she goes to do that. The only, like, I guess the subtle difference there is that one of the Cenobites, like, follows her and is, like,
Oh,
watching her
really?
the entire time. Yeah, and nobody else can see it just because they don't have a connection to the box. But,
Is her terrible
um,
boyfriend character there in the book?
no. That's
Shocker.
a yeah, did absolutely nothing for like added absolutely nothing to the story or anything like
Well,
that,
we probably won't even mention him after that, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, otherwise like it is very faithful to the book, and it definitely because Clive Barker himself directed it. And I think I can say this for sure it was the right move to change it so that Kirsty was like the daughter of the husband that's being taken advantage of,
Yeah,
um like instead of just some random family friend or some person that's like otherwise involved with it. It just like gives her more stakes. It puts her in a little bit more of a vulnerable position. um it makes
it makes you hate
the
Julia
death.
even more.
Yeah, exactly. It makes his death like way more heartbreaking and like gut wrenching. It makes like Frank a more despicable person because he's related to her as well. Um, yeah, it just is like a good choice all over it, and she ended up being like the highlight of both of these movies. But we'll
For
talk
sure.
about the first one
Yeah.
first.
I believe Ashley Lawrence was 16 when they shot this, which is
Mm.
really impressive because she is a very, very good actress. Instantly, like, up in the upper echelon of Final Girls for sure. I just wish she had more to do besides these first two movies. And I'm
Hmm.
sure she'll feel like a different character in six if we ever watch it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's
yeah, so yeah, let's start on the first one. We're not going to go like every scene by scene, just kind of a rough
yeah. We can kind of
through
just
line.
talk about our opinions and everything. So, how did you like? I guess I should ask. You know, like we both have like some history with the series.
Hmm.
Have you seen all of the movies, or have you
God
only
no,
seen like a few of
God no.
the? Okay,
Um,
okay,
I've seen the first three, and then the one that came out in 2021, I think. Uh,
okay.
like three, even three is like not a terrible movie, but it is just such a complete like. Pinhead is immediately like a dumb slasher villain. He kills a bunch of people in a nightclub like he's Blade. It just
Right.
it completely feels completely off from the first two. So yeah, that was I lost
Yeah.
interest immediately.
To me, the Cenobites never felt like they were like murderous monsters in the sense of like, oh, they just will kill anybody. They're just like psychopaths or anything. What they are like, all right, you've opened this box, you've opted into this. We are going to, show you the limits of experience, etc. That's especially the case like in the book where it is very it's clear that from like the narration and everything that the first chapter is from Frank's perspective,
Hmm.
and he's like to him like yeah he just wants he's sick of life on Earth and worldly stuff, so he's sought out this box that had you open it and you get all of your pleasures fulfilled, and when all these like weird BDSM fucking freak monster men like show up and are like, all right, you really want to do this? And he's like, whatever, I got
Yeah.
nothing else to lose, and then starts to like get tortured. It's they make it clear that there's some type of like pragmatism or some type of like you gotta opt into this, you gotta like be sure about it.
Yeah,
The
they're
only reason that they're going to punish Kirsty was because they didn't want her lying to them about this other person, Frank, being, having escaped from their clutches. So, like, that's the only reason that they're like, all right, if you're lying to us, then we'll punish you. But if he's there, then yeah, we'll just take him back. So,
yeah, their morality, like it sets them like apart from a lot of other horror villains because so many of them are scary because
mm-hmm.
you can't talk or reason with them. But it's clear
Mm-hmm.
that they operate on a code and like I mean they're still really scary, but I don't know
Yeah.
the fact that you can talk with them, I make it really sets them apart and makes them interesting.
Yeah. And the fact that they also think that they're giving you a gift
Yeah.
of like pleasure through pain is like that's terrifying because like they have like a sense of morality. It's just your brain just doesn't align with what it
Yeah.
is. Whereas like yeah, somebody like Michael Myers is just like devoid, like he's the shape. He's
Yeah.
just there's nothing in the eyes, etc. Um,
Or like
but yeah, like yeah, go ahead.
yeah, or the Terminator even like that he
Mm,
I mentioned that he's scary because he just will not fucking stop and you can't reason with him. But
yeah, it's like a cold calculating machine that's like nearly invincible and everything. So,
yeah,
but yeah,
so
the
I really like the kind of the first chunk in this movie when you're being introduced to the characters and they're all like kind of moving into the house. I have the note
mhm.
that it feels like a sexier version of Beetlejuice kind of in the first chunk of
Right,
this movie.
yeah.
Uh,
Larry is like one of the biggest. Like, I feel so bad for this
so bad
guy
for
because
him.
such
Yeah.
a he's just a big goofy dumbass. Like he's just
Hmm.
like this poor guy, and he accidentally married a supervillain,
Oh yeah,
because
we'll get to
Julia
Julia.
is such an amazing resting bitch face. Like just she's
Hmm.
just constantly miserable and conveys it so well through all of her emotions, and it's so like passive aggressive and everything about every single thing that Larry does. And this poor bastard, like the inciting incident of the movie being he just like cuts his hand on a nail as Julia's like fucking Frank in her mind. Yeah, or
Yeah.
I mean she's remembering a moment where they did have sex, but it's just like funny that like the they do really good directing, going between like that sex scene,
Yeah.
from the past and like them like trying to push the like
Which
bed up the stairs.
it like the sexuality in general in this movie feels different from how sex is portrayed in a lot of other horror movies. Like
Yeah.
it feels like actually like really steamy and illicit and it doesn't feel like exploitative. Like there's one
Mm-hmm.
shot where like Julia is fucking Frank on top of her wedding dress for Larry,
Yeah.
which is
Mm-hmm.
so fucking evil. She's
Yeah.
yeah, everything
That's
about this
just
character, Julia is like an all-timer horror villain for me. She is so evil. She's fabulous. She's a huntress.
mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you knew this, but the original plan for these movies, one of them was for Julia to be the recurring main villain. Uh, she would be her, and Kirsty would keep coming back for movies, and the Cenobites too, I guess. But
Yeah.
through each movie, she would just grow more in power and rise through the hierarchy of hell as Julia needs to transform
Mm-hmm.
and stuff,
That makes sense. I
which
feel
would have
like
been
they're setting
fucking
that up
great.
in two.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of setting that up in two, where she kind of like overtakes the guy who becomes a Cenobite, and then he kind of like takes the role by the end of that movie. But I was thinking like, oh, there's a lot of Hellraiser DNA in Terrifier, like there's a lot of parallels between them with the idea of like these like relatively normal people somehow roped into this weird like demonic like battle between gods, weird shit going on. And yeah, so I think that her starting as just like a spiteful wife who has a chance encounter with the horrific mangled corpse of somebody that she cheated with, who, by the way, I couldn't fucking look at the screen half the time when Frank was like, especially like in his first like iteration when he shows up. It's so disgusting. Like, and the way
Oh,
that he like crawls across the floor is like so fucking freaky.
mhm. I thought you were talking about like when you first see him proper, like as a man, and I was like, because I thought you couldn't look at the screen because I know like in the book Frank is like not attractive. Like they don't
Mm.
describe him
Oh
looking
yeah, yeah. I
sexy.
mean, he is like absurdly hot in like when he first appears, like in the rain and
Standing in
everything.
the rain, it's like
Um,
you get why Julia cheated on Larry for Frank, but it's
yeah,
still fucked up.
yeah, yeah. That's true. Larry looks like geometry teacher,
It's the
and
dad from Full
yeah,
House.
yeah. Yeah. And then Frank is just like, yeah, he's absurdly hot. I do think that there's maybe a little bit of Clive Barker himself exploring some stuff, because I know that he said that he's like he got really invested into like S&M and like learning about the culture and like being in the culture and everything that like inspired the book Hellbound Heart. Yeah, according to, I was like looking, and I think he even said that like if he was on the scale of 1 to 10, he would be like on a 6 for sadomasochism. So there you go. He's a kinky guy, which is why I think that there's definitely like that energy is in this movie, especially. Um, it's like, yeah, like I think that maybe he's not like a fuck the world like fatalist sociopath like Frank is, but maybe there's some of that in there where it's like, how far must we push ourselves to like get that next high, etc., and like the paying the ultimate price by accidentally going too far with opening this box, and there's
Yeah.
these like interdimensional fucking demons that show up, which obviously won't happen to anybody in real life, but I think even with like in the book, you know, to you have to like leave like offerings for the Cenobites. So like the first chapter is him like opening the box, and like while he's doing it, you're hearing his narration and everything, or the narrator is just like talking through his thoughts about like how he got the box, like what he thinks is going to happen, and then also what he was told, like rites and ritual preparements that he must have for to please the Cenobites.
Hmm.
And one of them is like a jar of piss. uh, so it's
Okay,
just like, I do feel like there is like, yeah, that might have some like kink energy to it, as
for
well as
sure.
like, yeah, as well as like some like
The
dead
pony
birds
jar.
and
Mhm.
things like that. Yeah, yeah. Oh no. I will say, speaking
Like,
of little animals, those rats, very cute, that are like
yeah.
scurrying around in the attic. Sad that they all die because
Yeah, does
Frank
Frank
like
eat
nails
them or
them to the
just
wall.
for no
He,
reason that we can discern?
yeah, like a couple of them get like nailed to the wall. Um, yeah, if like he shows up, he's like a weird fucked up slime zombie guy, and then convinces her to kill somebody. She's like pretty quick to agree to
Oh yeah, it takes her no time.
taking somebody home. Yeah. To be like, all right, let me just like catfish this guy, bring him up
Mhm.
into the attic, tell him that we're gonna fuck on the floorboards, and then just in the book she just stabs him to death, but then here she used a fucking hammer, which is way more brutal
Oh yeah, his jaw gets
and
all fucking
traumatic.
mangled.
Yeah, I was just like, dear God. Oh yeah, for such a low budget movie, the effects are really really good. Like there's some like really cheesy effects, obviously, because it's like $1 million budget, so it's a very low budget movie. But the Frank coming out of the
The rebirth
floorboards
scene,
and like
yeah.
forming into is so cool and
Hmm.
disgusting. It's just like so well done. And then yeah, like his all of his like different forms as he's like gaining back flesh. It's
Yeah.
just like It's like Shin Godzilla almost. Like it's just until he's like in his complete form by the end.
Whenever like Julia is holding his skinless hand and like her hand is like coming away
Hmm.
all wet. It's so nasty.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, a lot of slime. I love how gloopy this movie is.
a scene. Kirsty, she has a nightmare, and there's a lot of really good nightmarish imagery in both of these movies for sure.
Hmm.
She's in this room like that's full of feathers, and there's like this like kind of mass of her sheet that's bleeding, and then like her dad like leaps at her.
Hmm.
There's this weird guy that's following Kirsty, which we'll get back to.
Yeah.
He eats some crickets in a pet store.
Hmm.
Oh, before we transition to the pet store with a jump scare of a monkey, which was really fun.
Yeah, which is good. Very, very good.
Almost
Always love a
instantaneous.
good like. Yes, exactly. Always like a good in context like jump scare. There's another jump scare later where she's trying to hide from Frank and like a Jesus statue comes out. And like almost makes her scream, but then she like quietly shoves it back in and everything. Um,
Oh,
at
and then
that point,
later
I
on,
will say, mhm, mhm. Well, I was just gonna say at that point in the book, like it's it's kind of implied maybe in the the movie just in general that he's has supernatural powers because he's sucking people's blood, but
yeah,
like it's directly said like he's supernaturally strong, so he actually like maims Kirsty pretty badly, which is why she has to go to the
jeez.
hospital. She doesn't just like faint from a broken heart or whatever, uh,
Mhm.
and then come back later. Like she actually gets like her chest or like arm fucked up by it, him like swinging at her. And like during that moment, and then that's when she escapes throwing the box out the window. He freaks out. She's able to get away and everything. Like, yeah, so it's like I said, it's mostly the same. There's like a few little things here and there that are different that would just be kind of like nitpicks really for saying that's different. But I just bring that up to like say that Frank, he is like a straight up demonically strong, kind of like murder guy in the books compared to in this movie where like he can only like suck the soul out of people if they're like bloody or injured or whatever, like at the end of the movie when with Julia,
Mhm.
he accidentally stabs her and then like sucks the blood from her, um,
I was gonna say
which is pretty
another.
fucking horrific.
Uh, there was kind of like the Jesus jump scare. Another one that is like classic horror movie jump scare. It's kind of similar. Like Kirsty's hiding. She's like going behind furniture, and one of the bodies that Frank had
Hmm.
used up like kind of comes forward in the shadows, and its mouth is open and full of maggots, and they fall on Kirsty.
Yeah.
It's so good. Everything about this
Hmm.
movie really like this. It's like when people think of like Hellraiser and they have the image of the box and the Cenobites. Like this first movie is very different from what you would expect the kind of movie it is. Like it's
Yeah.
like really dark,
Because.
fucked up, like romance almost like S and
Hmm.
M movie. It's yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Julia is like getting into this extremely bad kind of like, she's in a submissive role and like doing what this guy is telling her to do, and it becomes kind of clear by the end that Frank really doesn't give a shit about her. He's just kind of completely self-interested in like getting, you
so
know, yeah, literally. And then the like the Cenobite stuff. It is a very small section towards the end, or it's like a small element until the very end, and then that scene in the hospital when they all show up is like a show stealing scene though. Like
so
that is,
good.
I was just like I was just like very very happy, seeing all of that because like I said in the book, the Cenobites just you do see them. It isn't just like vague, and then like we kind of learn about that a little bit more later when Frank is like telling, which is I think that that's a good structural change is to make it vague, like oh my god, what the fuck happened, and then like slowly the mystery is revealed.
Yeah.
But having it be like, oh, Kirsty like opens the box in the hospital, all these freaky monster guys show up. Which one is your favorite?
Hmm.
Is it Butterball? Is it the Chatterer? I really liked the Chatterer
Chatterer, I think, is
this
my
time
favorite.
around.
But I do
Yeah, I
also
like his.
like the female Cenobite too.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
like
all good.
literally
Like these
just the
four are the best
female.
ones. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um, I mean, like
yeah.
towards the like in the third one, there's a CD player Cenobite. Uh,
God.
I know. Like, and
Yeah.
then I'm sure the ones that set in space has even dumber ones.
Yeah, that sounds really stupid. I would say that the I really like with the female that she has like a neck vagina. Like that's like such a good disgusting detail
Yeah,
of
you
like
can
the
see her
neck
vocal
split
cords.
open. Yeah, and then yeah, like there's just something so funny about there being like a freakish like bulbous monster Cenobite with sunglasses on. Like that's just like such a
Hmm.
good image. And then, but like I said, the chatter when he shows up and he's chattering, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, look at this guy.
Like, what is that?
But
That like
fucking, mm,
out of all the four, that one is like, what is that dude's life even like? You know, because like
yeah,
no nose, no eyes, no ears, just a chattering mouth.
yeah. I mean, we see in two that we see they're like before they became Cenobites.
He was a
And for
kid.
that guy, yeah, I was like, Jesus,
Hmm.
this poor kid.
Uh-huh.
And well, I was gonna say Pinhead comes in and he just like lays down so many banger lines.
One of them is a
Just
hit. Yeah.
yeah, every single. I was just like, God damn! All the quotes that people think of regarding this series and like Pinhead in general come from like this one scene or from like just the end of this movie in general,
Yeah.
and like will tear your soul apart, which is in the book. That's what they do say that to her when, like I said, they're like, all right, if you're lying to us, then we'll tear your soul apart.
Does the book
But the
also
like
have?
note. Mm-hmm. I was gonna say no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering. Amazing, just like such a good. Because again,
Uh-huh.
like they to them it's like equal. They think that like pain is pleasure. So to them, something like suffering, agony, crying, pain, everything like that is like a resource that should be valued because it's like the most beautiful thing that you can experience.
Uh-huh. Do they does the book have the weird like uh upside down like fetus thing with arms that's pulling itself along the hallway that chases after
No,
Kirsty? No?
that does not that thing. As far as I am aware, that thing took the role of something called the engineer, which was the leader of the Cenobites, which was just like a human made of pure light, basically. Is given
I
no
gotta
other
read this fucking
description
story.
other than that. But he shows up and he's the one that like takes Julia away at the end because like she's dying, at the bottom of the stairs and everything, and then Kirsty goes to check on her and then sees that this like lead Cenobite shows up and is like, yeah, thanks for clearing this up. Here's the box. Don't fuck with it again if you don't want us back. And then he goes away with her. And then, like I said, she like looks into the box and sees, can see in the reflection of the metal that these two people are suffering. And then like hopes or like knows in her heart that Rory is in heaven and not where these people are. So
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, that's which is like I said, it's like a very chill ending or like a more like anticlimactic ending to what we get in the movie. But it's a novella, so it kind of like makes sense that
Oh yeah.
they do it that way. I will. Mhm.
The ending for this, there was like a couple times where I did sort of feel a little bit like, okay, we could have ended already, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
like
because the conflict basically ends as soon as Frank is taken out of the equation, but then they kind of make it, like her, she has to like close the box in order to get the other
Mhm.
Cenobites to disappear, and like,
It's like a bonus
I feel
mission.
like it was, yeah, I feel like it was a little bit contrived because like in the book it just made sense that they're like, all right, we don't need to kill her because she gave us what we wanted, and then we can just go away now. uh so like it's a little bit, yeah, like you said, it kind of like drags out the ending of it. um
It's also strange because kind of like what you said, they do protect Kirsty when Frank tries to attack her
mm,
in this. Like they stop
yeah.
him with the chains when he goes after her, but then they like, actually we're gonna chase after you some more, and you have to point the Rubik's cube at us.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like a
And
little
and
bit.
Butterball doesn't even get zapped with the cube. Like the ceiling
Mm.
collapses on him, and they just forget about him.
I guess they're like, he's gone or dead or whatever. Fuck it. Yeah, it feels maybe a little bit like, Clive Barker um, was, I don't know, like, I don't want to say like he was like, all right, it's got to end like in a big epic, like a movie, like it should end like a movie, and then he kind of like added that in there because again, like it is directed by him as well. So he had his hand in both the movie and the
Yeah.
book. So it feels like maybe he felt the need to like add that in, but you know, it's
I
obviously like could have been
I
he could have thought it was like the right call to make, like, oh, the story would be better with this, but like I feel like it was the wrong call to make. So
uh, I also, I mean, it's funny, but I don't like the stupid dragon showing up at the end. And that prop, I think it was a last minute idea. It might have even been had needed to be like a late reshoot because they had like zero money to make it. So that dragon skeleton you see for like a second and a half is comprised of like dead animal bones from like a butcher or something like that.
right, yeah.
Uh, uh, and then it just like kind of, I don't know. I feel like what they should have done if they couldn't afford to make the dragon, because
Mm-hmm.
the homeless guy who's been following Kirsty around the whole movie, I don't know, he's like some emissary of the box or whatever. It's never really explained. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
she tries to throw the box in the fire. He picks it up, lights on fire, and then turns into the dragon and flies away. What they should
Dragon, yeah.
what they should have done is just have him pick up the box and walk away with it still on fire. Like, I don't know, walk off into the dark with no idea of where he's going
Yeah.
or something. I think that would have been
Mm-hmm.
creepier.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do think that I believe the book does say that there's multiple boxes, so that being a
Yeah.
thing in the second movie isn't like a contradiction of that. It's just that like it isn't like one box and this is the only one. It's like, oh, creating a box like this is how you tap into, summoning the Cenobites, and like anybody can do it. So it's, and it was created by like some fucking French guy in like the Middle Ages or something. So that's the like, so it's like
I'd say
been
it's like
going on
La
for like
Marchand
hundreds
or
of years.
something.
People, yeah, like Le Marchand,
Yeah.
whatever,
The
how the
fourth
fuck you
movie
pronounce
is
it.
like, it takes place in like three different timelines. I haven't seen it, but it takes place in like three or four different timelines with like different generations of that family. And one of them is the one
Mm-hmm.
that's set in space uh, with a
Right.
big puzzle box spaceship.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that's kind of interesting, whatever. Yeah. Well, but yeah, I like the first movie quite a bit. I think that, like I said, there's some ways that I think it's a lot better than the book. The book, you get to get into the mindset of characters like Frank or Julia more and kind of just see how despicable they are through like the text and everything. But like, the movie does a really good job implying that stuff through, camera work or through like facial expressions and everything. Like you said, Julia's actress is just like so good at being like a miserable bitch. It's just like
Love her.
great. Yeah. She's just good times. But yeah,
Yeah,
now we
every
can move
character is very
on
strong.
to,
Hmm.
yeah, we can
Yeah,
move on
much in the
to the
way.
second movie.
Yeah, much in the way that you said that the Hellbound Heart felt like a practice run for the movie. The first movie feels like a practice run for this movie, in my opinion. I
Mm-hmm.
fucking love Hellraiser 2 so much. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the best
Mm-hmm.
sequels of all time. It's a great double
Yeah.
feature. It's a pity they never made any more after.
Yeah. I think that this is the movie that sort of codifies all of the Cenobite stuff,
Yeah,
like their weird hell dimension, the like
so
the kind
cool.
of like epic, like operatic elements of them and everything kind of like explains what
Hmm.
they are to like a little bit of an extent, but not to the point where like the mystery or whatever is completely evaporated, because it again, like in the book, it is sort of implied that these were normal people at one point hundreds of years ago, and then over time have just like fucked up their body so much that they have become like
Lost
these
their
like
humanity.
disfigured
Mhm.
monsters. Mm-hmm. And so like yeah, they like seeing like kind of starting immediately with like showing Pinhead, like that's kind of a bold move because it could feel like it's kind of diminishing the menace of this character by showing that he was just like a normal guy at one point. But no, it's like a nice like through line
Makes it more
throughout the movie,
interesting.
and I really like that this movie, the person that gets into it isn't just some weird horny guy that wants to like fuck a bunch of people, like Frank. Like he isn't opening the box in order for like sexual pleasures or whatever, like whatever pleasures he wants. Like this is like a scientist, a guy who's like been driven mad by his own curiosity and his research, that wants to learn like what's going on with this box,
Yeah.
what's the deal here, like what's the connective tissue between all of that, and then sort of like ends up making a deal with the devil, in this case being Julia, um and is able to
Mhm.
thing a lot of shit happens like the
Yeah,
second half of this movie.
yeah. Yeah, Kirsty, she's institutionalized. Steve is written out, and the crowd goes
Hmm.
crazy. The crowd was applauding that he was going to be back next week.
Yeah.
Um, I like
Yeah,
the idea.
again, a lot of Terrifier I feel like takes from like
Yeah,
these two movies especially, and so
I love like Julia's the mattress that she bled on. It like, comes back like plot wise because that she can come back the same way that Frank
hmm
did. Uh,
hmm
yeah, you'd mentioned Doctor Chenard, the kind of the lead villain. I He's probably one of my biggest complaints about the movie. I like everything about him, his motivation, his performance, up until he becomes the Chenard Cenobite at the end, which I think is one of the lamer Cenobites. And
right. I
his
think
performance is
if there's
like
any, hmm
it's like
hmm
Davros from Doctor Who levels of like
right.
camp. Yeah,
If I would say my big problem with that is like I like the idea. It's cool to see him become a Cenobite. Like that.
yes,
That's fine. The problem is that then his only character after that point is just saying a bunch of doctor related one liners.
yeah, like a
Um,
Power
it
Rangers
gets
villain who's a doctor.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like it gets like overbearing at a certain point, and I even like the idea of like the like Kirsty. I guess we're just kind of like going all over the place
Yeah,
with this. It's fine, but like with Kirsty being like actually being able to remind Pinhead of who he was because she ended up finding a picture of him when he was a human, and that ends up
love
like
that.
causing disarray and the whole
Hmm.
situation. Like that is really cool.
Yeah.
It's just like yeah, similar to the first movie, the climax it keeps going to the point where you're like, all right, did we need an extra 15 minutes of like dealing with this guy being dragged
Hmm.
around by a giant penis, and he has
Yeah.
like a bunch of snakes on his hands? Like again, like not a bad design or anything. Like he is, he's threatening and everything, and I like having what is it? What's her name? Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Like
Hmm.
yeah, like all of that stuff with them together, like there's a lot of elements I really liked about that. Yeah, but I do
Yeah,
agree that that they kind of like it almost would have been better if they did just focus on Julia being the main villain that cons this like guy
yeah,
instead
her
of
she speed runs
mhm.
Frank's arc in the first movie real quick. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, she shows up and then is immediately like, all right, so we just got like a whole bunch of people we can sacrifice to, get me back to normal, right? And then they just like there, a couple scenes later, there's like six dead
yeah,
people
we
in the room, and she's like, all right, I'm back to normal.
yeah, real quick, I gotta talk about the get them off me scene with the poor guy in the
Mm,
straitjacket. That
of course,
scene, the
yeah.
first time I watched it, like that is one of the most disturbing scenes like in any movie for me.
Oh
I think
yeah,
it's truly really
that was
upsetting.
another one where I had to look away from the TV multiple times during that because like I'm not even like a guy who gets too disturbed by like blades or like skin being cut or anything. It's like the combination of that and all of the bugs is just like so fucking gross.
Yeah, you feel so bad for the
Um
poor guy too.
yeah, and then like yeah, he gets Julia comes out and sucks his blood and everything, and then she's like a shambling. She's like she goes straight from dead
Pepper and
to I'm a
gauze.
just have no skin. Yeah, which looks really cool, by the way.
Uh-huh.
That's such a good look for her
I
because
wonder if it was like the
mm,
actress was like I saw how miserable Frank's actor was on that first movie. I will wear the flesh suit once, and afterwards you're
yeah,
covering that skin up with gauze. Uh,
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same fucking thing because I was like, she wasn't in that state for too long, like visually. It must have been like a huge production to like even do it that one time. And with Frank, they had to do it like three different ways
yeah,
across the movie. They had like multiple different versions of it, throughout the movie. So with that, they were just, I think logistically, they were just like, look, we gotta just, we do it this one
back
way,
to
and
the actress
then
as ASAP.
yeah. And then there's like
I
a
get
transitionary state with her with the
yeah.
gauze on, which, like I said, looks really cool. Um, but yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm,
Also, I
mm-hmm.
like the reveal shot of like when Julia has her face back is so fabulous. She has the gauze on,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of tell that it's one molded latex piece to look like a bunch of gauze wrapped around her. It doesn't matter. They rip it
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
and her hair is already fully blown out, and she has makeup on, and she
Mm-hmm.
looks
Uh-huh.
completely fabulous. And I was like, "Yes, bitch, she is the fucking
Yeah.
queen of hell."
Yeah. Yeah. Just good stuff. And then like yeah, the basically like the whole second half of the movie after that point is like in this like fucked up labyrinth.
So
Um,
awesome.
you know, like it's like yeah, I was like kind of losing my mind because I didn't expect it to be like this epic or this escalated so quickly. Like I hadn't seen these movies. I've seen the first one, like 15 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
And if I've seen this movie at all, it must have been around that same time and I just forgot because there were things where I was watching. It was like, oh yeah, I remember this. This seems like the stuff with Julia and everything at the beginning, or like towards that like middle section. I remembered pretty vividly, but for some reason, like all the stuff like actually in Hell, I was like, why don't I remember any of this? But I was still, like I said, I just was like losing my mind just because of
Yeah.
how
The score
like
too is so epic
nightmarish
and
and
expensive.
yeah, and then just going through in like this nightmare realm. Because again, it's not like biblical hell. Really, it's more like
Uh-huh.
a personal hell. Like kind of, it's like Silent Hill esque. And it would probably like Hellraiser definitely influenced those games. Because I know that there's a lot of crossover. I know like there's some like Hellraiser stuff in like Resident Evil as well. Like Nemesis definitely looks like the Chatterer, and he has like a leather jacket kind of BDSM look to him in general. Um, but yeah, that's like I
There's
don't
like
know,
all these great
very
matte
cool.
paintings. Um,
Yeah, I love those. I was like, this is like Ghostbusters or something. This is like the end of like Ghostbusters,
mhm.
and
There's a
Julia's like Gozer,
mhm. There's some really good psychedelic bits too, especially like it's like Christy goes into her own personal hell, and it's like her old family home with pictures of her mother, and then Julia slowly replaces it, and there's blood and bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany's is like really triply shot. It's like she's in like a fun house, and she's like seeing the same
Mm-hmm.
flashbacks, revealing that she's mute for most of the movie. And we learn that that's because of
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Chenard, like,
Mm-hmm. Pretty fucked up.
that,
Yeah, he
yeah,
clearly has some fixation or obsession with her because she's like the one of the patients that isn't sacrificed. Like, I think that it's interesting that she, like, even the Cenobites are like, no, we'll not kill her. It was this guy's desire that brought
mhm,
us. Like, yeah, that to me, like, that feels more in line with what I expect from them. Like how their morality was like established in the first movie, where like they aren't just going to immediately be like, well, we were brought here, we might as well punish the person that brought
uh-huh.
us here. They like understand that there's another layer to it, that somebody might be manipulated to do it, and they're like, oh, that's the real prize, is the person that's wanted to bring us here even if they couldn't solve the puzzle. um and then
And
yeah,
then
like,
and then in the third one,
yeah, go
people are
ahead.
getting killed with CDs.
Right. Okay. I was just gonna say that, like, Julia like taking Chenard into the labyrinth, and then like talking about the the true God, the Lord Leviathan, and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Hmm.
And there's like this gigantic spinning prism in the middle of the labyrinth, and lightning, good old
It has
After
like
Effects lightning.
black beams of light that it shoots out, which looks so
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
it's
like
it's it's
it's
so
just a very
impressive.
awesome. Yeah.
'Cause they probably didn't have like they probably didn't have a like the budget for this probably was not much bigger than the one for the first movie, and the stuff that they're able to pull off, like
Mm-hmm.
even though like you're really like if we go by locations, it's like Labyrinth and Kirsty's hospital room and Dr. Chenard's house, but the movie still feels like really big and epic and cinematic, and like it's
Yeah.
like truly like we talked about this a lot in the Doctor Who podcast, like them using their limitations to pull
Mm.
off the things in their imagination that they just do not have the money to do, and it
Yeah.
all comes together. It's a cohesive. The character work with Kirsty is really good. I like
Mm-hmm.
that her and Tiffany, like Kirsty sees her once, and then like they don't run into each other again until they're both in the labyrinth, but they are able to kind of like immediately form
Yeah.
like kind of a sisterly bond. Which is really sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Because she, I don't know, is like taking care of this younger person and everything. Like Kirsty, yeah, she has been like, for the first act of the movie, she's really like put down, and they just think that she's like delusional and everything, and she is like having freak hallucinations and everything. But it starts to make you understand that maybe like I don't know, that everybody, all of these people that might have like these schizophrenia, like hallucinations or whatever, maybe in the context of this film, only, but like they could be having these visions of hell. Like they could be having like, it might not literally be like the Cenobites doing, but to them their perception is their own personal
Yeah.
hell. And I feel like that kind of, that also feels like in line with Hellbound Heart, because the first thing that the Cenobites do after Frank agrees to all the pleasures is that they open up his senses. So every sense in his body, like the scent, the feeling, everything like that, all of his memories just get like amplified to an extreme degree, that he like basically is just like writhing on the floor, like going insane, because he he remembers every single thing that happened to him in his entire life at once. He remembers like all of the pain, all the joy, all the pleasure, everything. There's even a moment where he like takes his pants off and jacks off in order to like try to relieve the like sensory overload that he's been given. I think that has something to do with why, because when the Cenobites take him away, it's like the husband's blood lands on the spot where his semen was, like where his like dried semen was like years later or whatever. And that's what brings him back. So like it isn't just a weird crude thing that happens for no reason. Like it is like, oh, that's the thing that sets up like how he comes back to Earth. But yeah, I don't know. I was just saying that like to the Cenobites and everything, like that kind of like ultimate sense experience is purely positive, but to a lot of people, having like that perception, like it's their perception of reality that's like torturing them or making them miserable. So I think there's a little bit of that. It's like it can maybe be a little bit like ableist in everything towards like the insane asylum people, but I think there's more of a sympathetic angle towards them, especially because they all fucking die.
Yeah,
And they aren't just like scary, crazy people or whatever. So,
my takeaway for that, for sure, was like, yeah, it is like a scary horror asylum, but also I was like, oh, these are people who need help, and it makes you hate Dr. Chenard more because he's not providing it.
yeah.
I know my call connection probably just dipped a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. That's fine. I won't edit it out.
Yeah, you don't got it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the second movie. I'm not sure how much more we want to talk about it. If there's any like other,
Like all the big stuff. Although I do want to point out, of course, Julia has a line that's like, "Used to be the wicked stepmother, and now I'm the evil queen." Love
right?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's like
they need to bring her
come
back
and get some
somehow.
Snow White or something like that.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, it's just very, very, very good. Because I was thinking at that moment, that like, oh, she's a menace to Kirsty because like in a similar way to like an evil stepmother, and then like she said that line, and I was like, oh, the movie acknowledged it. Um, but yeah, that is like funny that's such a trope. I'm sure that there are plenty of stepmother. I mean, I'm sure most stepmothers are just totally normal, healthy
Yeah,
relationship with their stepchild. So it's like maybe yeah, maybe a little bit negative influence on people that's such a common thing, but eh,
it's birthed a
I'm
lot
sure
of
it
really
does
good
happen as well.
stories.
That's true. Yeah. But anyway, that was it. That's Hellraiser and Hellraiser 2. Uh, we really
Highly
explored the
recommend.
hell out of those two movies. Yeah. Maybe we could have gone a little bit deeper, but I feel like we kind of covered both the vibes of both by talking about both,
Each movie
back to
got
back. It's a
roughly
really good
25
double
minutes.
feature.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I finished the first movie and then I just went right into the second, and I was never bored with either. Like it was just engaging the whole way through. I ate Taco Bell. Like I did pause two halfway through to get Taco Bell and eat it, but while I was eating those chalupas while I was watching the movie, and it was very good. So I enjoyed the
That's
movie. I
that's your
enjoyed that
that's your
Taco Bell.
sensory experience beyond
Right?
humanity.
It's the chalupa box, supreme box or whatever I got.
To get
Um,
that next time I
Good
go.
stuff. Yeah. I wanted to get the like new flavor of the purple Baja Blast that they invented,
We
but
don't have that over
it
here.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't available yet. They only had the like icy, like the slushy version of it. And
Hmm.
fuck you, I hate like I like I hate slushies because I like them too much because I drink them too fast and I get brain freeze every single
Yeah,
time. I just never. It's like an ape, like constantly putting his hand into the fire. Like I never learn.
those jokes.
like,
At least a new one of them.
yeah. But yeah, that'll do it for talking about this. Cody, do you have a movie in mind
I,
that we're going to talk about next time?
I do, Wyatt. We're going to be talking about a true underrated gem, classic horror movie that didn't get its dues. We're going to be finding out why
Mm.
it is that all the boys love Mandy Lane.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
And I'm
So,
sure you remember
or
me
if I
being
have, it
fucking
was
obsessed with it on Tumblr.
I do remember you talking about it, and I do remember maybe catching a bit of it at one point, like when you were streaming it on like Rabbit or somewhere else.
Probably.
But I haven't seen it from beginning to end. So I'm very curious to see
Awesome.
it, and I'm very excited. It's like an Australian movie, right?
Oh no,
Is that a
it's
different movie
Texan.
that I'm thinking of?
You're thinking of the loved ones,
Okay,
maybe.
so okay, yeah. That's what I'm thinking of. You're correct. I don't know. There's a lot of those movies, those like 2014 era Cody movies are mixed up in my in my brain. Not insulting you. I'm
Oh
just
no, they're
saying
mixed up in
like
mine
there's
too. It's
some
fine.
movies. Yeah. So we'll have to get to some of those for sure. But yeah, awesome. Anyway, Cody, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me here on this YouTube channel. It's just my name, Cody J. Briscoe. If you look up that name, you can find my IMDb page to find all of the projects I've acted in. Find me on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
My name there was Gay Boomhauer. And I
Mm-hmm.
have a funny fourth thing. So, Wyatt, where can we find you?
Okay, cool. Well, on Twitter and Blue Sky, Wasp Ranger, WAZP Ranger. I mostly post stream of consciousness stuff, but when I do post, it's about podcasts I'm doing or videos I'm making, things like that. I got my YouTube channel, It's Only Magic, cartoon reviews and retrospectives, Cartoon Buffoons, which is me and our friend Morgan. We're going through and watching every single Cartoon Network show. We just did a good one at the time of recording this, Transformers Animated, and we're going to do one that I've never heard of ever called The Mr. Men Show, which is a
What the fuck?
UK import, but was produced partly by Cartoon Network, so it does count.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, we're going to do that tomorrow. I guess I haven't watched any episodes of it, so I guess I'll do that. I guess I'll watch episodes of it
Yeah, you gotta get on
before.
that.
I just realized that it's Wednesday already, so we record on Thursday. But I'll get on that, yeah. And yeah, so check out the Patreon. Also, It's Only Magic. $3, you get the episodes a week early. If you only got $1, that's fine. You get Wow Cool Robot, which is me and my friend Wayne going through every single robot in existence. It's like 5 to 10 minute episodes. We got Johnny Five. We got Rob the Robot. We got Tobor. We got some other things. Gort. I'm pretty sure we talked about at one point. Good stuff. But yeah, join us next time. We'll be talking about All the Boys Love Mandy Lane.
See you there.